What's going on, guys? Today, our guest is a former nurse who took a pivot on life and is now trying to grow her fitness brand. She goes by many names, but one that resonates well with her is SheWolf. Find out who this fierce SheWolf is. Stay tuned. My name is Christian Bandera. I'll be your host this evening. Across from me is my co-host, Vinny Dos Santos. What's up, man?
What up, what up,
Good
what
evening.
up? I'm loving these intros, by the way.
Thank you, man.
These intros.
Appreciate it.
You're putting the time in.
I actually do. I actually put about at least, 15, 30 minutes
It
into
shows.
like these intros.
It genuinely shows.
I try.
Hell yeah.
You got to hook them in. You
Have
got to hook them in.
Have to. And hopefully they're hooked in right now, so pay attention.
Yeah, pay attention, guys. Pay attention. So, I know I introduced the guest last podcast. Would you like to introduce our guest for this podcast?
Sure. So I have never met her until today. So, and you called her SheWolf because I guess that's one of her many names, which is really cool. You said former nurse, which is also cool because we are going to dive into that. Little to no introduction. We're going to find out a lot more about her right now, but Miss Theresa, and I don't know your last name.
Coughlin.
Yeah.
Coughlin. There we go.
AKA Fuel Up with Theresa.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we
I
go.
love it. Thanks for having me.
You nervous?
Not really.
It's the first podcast, right?
yeah, a first podcast like this.
But
for
not
sure.
nervous.
No, I love this shit.
That's awesome.
Am I allowed to swear?
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Okay.
Please.
I need to know that in the beginning.
Please.
Most anybody that sees my videos come up on Instagram, they're instantly getting their kids out of the room because they know I'm gonna drop F-bombs before I even get them to get their kids out of the room.
Oh, damn. It's
So.
like that, huh?
Just want to make it ask questions
Good.
first.
Good.
No
That's
worries.
all right.
No worries.
Viewer discretion.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Definitely.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right. So we kind of know you pretty well, but maybe our audience might not know you well. So would you like to give the audience your origin story, your background?
Sure. So I've been a nurse for 16 years. I started in dialysis and I transferred over to palliative and hospice care for the last 5 years of my nursing career. And while I was doing my nursing, I really got into fitness and wellness and nutrition. And it started with just nutrition. And people were asking me what I was doing, and I had no rhyme or reason to what I was doing. So I got my cert so I could just help other people. I'm a helper as a nurse. So I got certified in 2019. And it kind of just grew from there. And it was just a little side thing that I didn't even know could become a business. And then as that evolved, I started adding fitness and mindset and trying to grow bigger online. And then I was doing a little in-person training. I started working at White Wolf as one of their coaches. So I was picking up a couple days over there, their strength class and a kettlebell boot camp class while doing my online business. And I was helping a lot of those girls. And then I decided to ask if I could create SheWolf, which started as just an all women's lifting and empowerment class. So I used to do a lot of CrossFit, got into bodybuilding right before COVID, and really did bodybuilding during the pandemic with a friend of mine who was a bodybuilder. And I realized how much it added to just not just physical strength, but mentally feeling stronger. And I just loved it. And I know from my own journey with being sober for the last 6 years and sobriety that I always was missing that in the fitness community. The gym was what really saved me through my sobriety. And a lot of the communities I was going to, it just felt like I was always leaving the gym feeling like a failure. And then walking into this life that I already felt like a failure in, dealing with pre and the start of my sobriety. So when I created SheWolf, it's not about a participation award, because I don't believe in that. You have to work hard. But I believe in creating a space, especially for women, for them to understand the power of lifting and building yourself and focusing on strength and strong and bad bitch vibes versus small and skinny. And I wanted them to leave the class feeling like they could do bad bitch things, because that's where it matters. We're only in the gym for maybe an hour. What are you doing outside of this? If I'm leaving the gym feeling strong, what kind of strong things am I doing in my life? And that's really what I wanted SheWolf to become, and like the meaning behind it. I had suffered from a long-standing, we had talked about this before, like a long-standing eating disorder. When I graduated college, I weighed 89 pounds. I was never into fitness.
89.
I didn't really get into fitness until my like early 30s. I'm going to be 40 now. And like I said, I kind of just was like checking off boxes and constantly finding this like outside, or trying to find this outside validation while trying to do CrossFit, and then feeling like a failure at CrossFit because you're not always hitting PRs and you have to write your name on the board. And I was always not one of the top people. And then I got sober, and it just felt like it was like bricks on top of bricks on top of bricks. And as soon as I started bodybuilding and really working on my sobriety and learning that nutrition and fitness should be something that is a daily devotion to me and building me, it kind of went hand in hand with my sobriety, right? You got to treat one rep at a time. You got to treat sobriety one day at a time. So that's kind of how I, wanted the girls to feel like SheWolf. It's like, find the strength here, build yourself here, so then you can build yourself out of here. And then luckily my online business has really blossomed, and personal training has really blossomed, like the in-person. So last August, I decided to take a chance on myself because I felt like I had two different feet in two different directions, right? Like I was trying to be a nurse full-time on top of all this full-time, and I just felt like I wasn't having a handle on anything. So I ended up pulling out of nursing and going all in on me. And it's been the hardest journey, but also like the most amazing journey to be
Probably
able to
very
help
rewarding.
these people. Yeah. And it's for me, like I'm helping people feel their best self. Like I'm helping people realize their confidence and their strength and the ability of what they can do. I didn't know my ability when I got sober. My first day I got sober, it's not like I ever envisioned this type of life. So I feel like I'm still giving back as a caring person as I would as a nurse, just in a different way.
And so where are you from originally?
So I'm from Melrose. I grew up in Melrose, and now I live in Beverly, the North Shore.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And where'd you go to school?
I went to Melrose High, and then I went to nursing school down in Tampa.
Really?
Which is probably another reason why I drank a lot. No, I actually didn't get to party as much as everybody else because we were up at 5 a.m. for clinicals. So,
Gotcha.
But yes, I went to University of Tampa.
And how was your childhood? Did you have your parents in your life
Yeah,
during childhood?
parents. I have two parents. They're loving parents. They're still together. I have two sisters. We're all 15 months apart. Us three girls.
Whoa.
So that was like
is
fun.
that like a triplet thing or something?
It's Irish triplets.
Irish triplets. There you go.
And so now they each have two boys.
Irish triplets?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the thing.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Irish twins usually, but now this Irish
triplets. It means you're under 18 months or something like that apart.
Interesting.
Like you're super close. Yeah. And my nephews are the same way,
Good
which
on
is
your
funny.
parents.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, that's insane.
Yeah.
Do you guys get along, you and your sisters?
Everybody used to compare us to like the Kardashians. Like we were just like out of our minds. Like everyone was like, my poor dad would go to the barber and he's like, "You're a Coughlin girl's dad?" And he was like, "Yes."
So which one is which? Who's Kim and everyone else?
Oh, we would never decide. We like never really tried to decide that because there was so much like looks and body image kind of like stigma to it, but like attitude wise, we try to like pick who is who, but I think it constantly changes as well.
Gotcha.
She's the Kim since she's on the podcast.
Yeah,
right now.
I think she's the Kim for sure. So Chloe and Courtney are at home.
Yeah, they're at home
Yeah.
with their kids.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, our guest on our last podcast, he said something really interesting to me, and I had to ask this because you were a nurse. He says that nurses said that they only use about 5% of what they learned in college in the field because most of it's OJT.
5%?
5%.
No. I mean,
You think it's more?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I learned more. I mean, you have to think of how many hours we do with clinicals. Like a lot of the stuff, I mean, it all depends on how you learn as well. But at the end of the day, if you can't get in front of a patient and assess and have those like assessment skills, but also like be able to kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like you're looking at a patient and, you know, assessments, but like you have to have like that behind the scenes, like, all right, I've seen this before. This,
Yep.
I
I feel like you got to
mean,
be a little personable too. Like,
yeah, you have to
'cause
be
every
personable.
patient is
I mean,
different.
it's just 100%, and you have to approach every patient differently because everybody, you know, everybody wants to be approached, but everybody learns differently because there's a lot of teaching that goes into nursing. When you're trying to teach a patient like how not to come back to the hospital or health or chronic disease, right? I think too, like I go looking back, like it was insane nursing school, the things that they put us through that we don't use. Like you had to know so much about every single medication in the entire world and like the ins and outs of every med. When you go to a nurse's station, you just open the book. Like, I think that could have been like a little bit more general, the way they were so psycho about that. But no, I think we absolutely use more than 5% of what we learn.
Is there a percentage that you can put in like in your mind that you think? I would doubt it's 100%, right?
I would doubt it's 100%.
50?
I would say like, no, I would say like 60 or 70% of what I learned in nursing school.
Wow.
Okay. Maybe everyone's different.
Yeah.
Everyone has their different story.
Yeah, like you said, like people learn different. Maybe people are more hands-on, so maybe, you know, they kind of block out everything they learned in school and had to be hands-on in order to really be like, okay. Yeah,
I guess it depends on what you go into too. Like, I went from, I mean, anybody who's, this is my perception, anybody who went from nursing school to med surge, you're getting a little bit of everything, right? For me, I went into dialysis, which is specialty. We didn't learn about dialysis as a career in nursing school, but I had to know all the other disease processes to what I was doing, to how I was going to affect this patient by treating them. Like I was, when I got first hired as a nurse, I was traveling to different hospitals in the North Shore. And so at 23, I was the only dialysis nurse at 2:00 in the morning for an acute patient. Like I had to know what I was doing.
Makes sense.
And I would assume I got that from nursing school.
Okay. Like I said, everyone's different.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to get your opinion on it since you were a nurse for 16
Yeah.
years.
Yep.
What was the best thing about being a nurse?
I love people. I love taking care of people, probably to a fault. I love just the connections, like long-lasting connections I've made with patients and their families, knowing that I made a difference. I mean, I can say hands down, I've gone above and beyond for patients. Like I had a dialysis patient that decided she didn't want to do dialysis anymore, which we know that means she's going to die, and she was at the hospital. And I went to the hospital to say goodbye to her.
Wow.
Out of your own free time?
Out of my own free time.
Wow.
I went to, which probably again, I went to almost all the wakes to my patients in the dialysis center. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Well, you were really like...
Because they see you more often than they see anybody else, and you're so involved. I think, again, that's different. Like if you're, and again, my perception, if you're a nurse in a hospital and you only see this patient once, and they're only there for a short amount of time, I would see dialysis patients 3 to 4 times a week for months, years. So it's different.
You know, you build that bond, that connection with that relationship.
Yeah.
Now, what was the dark side of being a nurse?
What's the worst?
What's the worst thing?
I mean, it's a business, right?
Yeah.
They don't care. Corporate does not care. I worked for a big dialysis company, and I was so burnt out, and nobody cared. Like, we were so short-staffed, and I was salary working way more than 40 hours and taking on multiple roles while trying to be the second nurse on the floor. And they didn't care. I have to say, though, I did go to a community company for my last part of my career, and they were amazing. And they everybody loved their job, and everybody wanted to check in on your mental health. So it depends on where you go, but I think the hardest part is a lot of the bigger corporates. It's a business.
Do you think that lack of care is also with the patients or just with the staff?
What do you mean?
Like you said, they didn't care about you, right?
You don't think they care with the patients?
Is that a thing as well? Do you
I
see that as well or no?
I think people used to always ask me, like, do you think they'll find a cure for dialysis or diabetes? No. They make way too much money.
Yeah.
We got blocked. We got shadow banned for saying that
Yeah. We did.
when we said the same exact thing.
Yeah, but we were
So,
talking about
like,
cancer.
if you think about dialysis, that's my specialty. Dialysis, most dialysis patients have comorbidities of diabetes, heart disease, kidney failure.
Yeah, it's a business.
It's all,
as you said, it's a
and
business.
think about, I mean, dialysis in itself is very expensive.
Yep.
And then you think of what other type of medications they're taking on top of that.
Right.
It's a good amount of money.
It's a
I
big
get it.
business, right?
It is.
And all the supplies.
Yeah,
It's wild.
definitely.
For one patient, this machine, strip it, the meds that they have to get during the machine, all the things.
They
it
lose
adds
out on a
up.
lot of
I
money.
feel like nurses
so.
and stuff should get paid more.
They should get paid more. And I'm pretty sure, did Massachusetts give the okay on that bill? It was a while ago where they get the 150,000 over that threshold. I know there was a
I have
big
no
thing
idea.
about that. Okay, I don't know. I don't remember what it is.
She's been out of the game for.
I know. I guess so.
I was out of the game for, no, it's only been a year.
How was that? Like that transition from.
Hard. I didn't, it's your identity, right? Like I've identified as being a nurse for 16 years. I'm like, what are people going to know me as? I'm a nurse. Like everybody comes to me as the caring nurse. I think that's the same thing with like all of our journeys though. Like same thing when I got sober, I wasn't the party girl anymore. So it's like shedding that identity was so hard, even though it wasn't fulfilling me or adding to where I needed to be. So same thing with being a nurse. I was like, oh my God, what am I? So I like cut down to 2 days a week. So I was still doing nursing like a couple days a week for a little while because I loved it so much and it was like something that I just was so passionate about. But then you just shed that and step into your new skin.
Gotcha. Let's talk about your sobriety a little bit. So let's talk about how you basically, on your party days, which you kind of did.
How did that start?
Yeah, how did that
Down to
start?
2
We want to know
days
how that
too,
started.
or how was that? How did that
First it was 2 days, then it was 3 days, then it was 7.
right? How did that start?
I wasn't an overly, I mean, we drank in high school like everybody did. We went to the woods, whatever. And
The woods.
I like looking back and trying to dissect it. I was super shy. I was the skinny girl, like wasn't athletic. I didn't really fit into like any kind of group actually. And I mean, I had my core friends. And I got this confidence when I started drinking. And like, oh my God, Theresa's so funny. Right?
Yeah.
And then
Liquid courage.
Liquid courage. And so I was the funny girl and everybody wanted to be my friend. And then I went to Tampa and I was so uncomfortable because I was so awkward and shy and I wasn't a sorority girl and all the things. And it was just like, again, that liquid courage of like, all right, well, this will relax me. I'll feel more confident. I'll talk more because I don't care.
Funny again.
All the things. And then I think once I was really kind of the eating disorder didn't start until I was a sophomore in college. It didn't start till college. It kind of exemplified the drinking because obviously somebody who's having an eating disorder doesn't have a whole lot of confidence, right? Lack of confidence, lack of self-esteem, and now you're mixing it with a upper that's like making you think you feel good and people want to be around you and all the things. It was like a terrible mix. And then it just snowballed.
What gave you the
Stress.
eating disorder? Was just like someone said, hey, you're fat? Or was just
So I'll never
something you had-
forget. So I was always the skinny girl. Again, your identity, right? I was the skinny girl in high school. And then in college, they overbooked us, so some of us had to stay in a hotel for a season. But we all kind of, everybody, I mean, that's not an excuse. Everybody gained like freshman 15, right? So, but it was very easy at the hotel because you could order room service. So we were always getting drinks and cheesy fries or pizza or whatever it was. And I'd gained like that freshman 15, which looking back, obviously it probably didn't display well because it was like beer and shit food, right? But I probably had a little bit more room than most people to put on a little bit of weight, right? And my roommate came over and she pinched me and she just said, wow, you're really gaining some weight. And right then and there, I was like, shit, I'm losing my identity. Like, who am I? What am I? I'm in Tampa. I don't, all the things. And I'll never forget, I started Googling like, how to have an eating disorder.
How to have one? Mm-hmm. Wow. So
Yeah.
you wanted it.
Yep.
Wow.
And then it was always a competition for me of how small I could get. Because it doesn't happen right away.
Right.
Especially when I'm still eating like crap and still drinking. And then it just, I mean, after years of doing this, I graduated college, I was 89 pounds.
Did you know what you weighed before you decided, like, this is what I want to do?
I probably was like almost 120, 118.
Not even bad.
That's not even bad. So like,
No, I'm 5'8".
yeah. So was it like anorexia or bulimia?
It was both.
Okay.
It ended up being both.
Okay.
It started with bulimia, and then it ended up being both.
Gotcha.
But I have to say, during the real thick of it, I think what saved me was the fact that I was still drinking.
Yes, you were
Those
talking
I was
about
getting
this.
calories
Empty
from
calories.
Empty
And
calories.
the beer.
kept you alive, low
Kept
key,
me
like,
alive.
somehow. All the beer. All the carbs in the beer.
That's how I carb loaded.
That's gonna be the thumbnail. Beer kept me alive.
I know, yeah, literally.
Seriously.
Damn, but so you graduated with 89 pounds? you said?
89 pounds.
Man.
89 pounds.
I remember the guy I was dating at the time was he already had a job. He didn't go to college. He already had a union job, and he was trying to help me get set up with life insurance, all these policies as an adult graduating college. And the lady showed up to my house and she was like, "There's no way we're signing you on. No way." I know my parents tried to get me help, but I was above 18, so nothing could be forced.
Gotcha.
Wow.
So you had to do it on your own, basically.
I had to do it on my own.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So with the drinking, the eating disorder, doing drugs, what kind of drugs did you do, by the way?
I just dabbled in party shit. It wasn't anything hardcore.
Oh, okay. It was more the drinking that was the
It was
thing.
mine was more the drinking.
Gotcha.
Did you
Yeah.
drink a lot? Like, are we talking every day type of thing? Or it's just every weekend? Or
I mean, I would come home and drink. I would come home and I would drink a bottle of wine or a bottle and a half of wine, whatever it was, to the point where I was passed out.
wow.
Oh, wow.
And you only weigh however many pounds you weigh
Yeah.
at that time. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's not gonna take much to really.
No. I would just,
Especially
and
with not
yeah.
eating. That's a.
And to me, I never thought I had a drinking problem. I was just this is normal.
It's just normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure the saying is, you don't know if you have an addiction until you admit that you do.
100%.
So you probably just didn't realize it,
Correct.
Do you think there's a lot of people that go through your shoes in the sense of wanting, the eating disorder, for example? Do you think a lot of people want it, or does it just happen?
That's a good question. I don't think anybody wants it. I didn't want to be a drunk.
Mm-hmm.
It happened, right? I didn't want to have an eating disorder. I wanted to fit into what I thought would make me have more confidence and be liked more. So it wasn't about having an actual eating disorder. It was about how can I get myself to feel confident and popular and back to my identity, which was the skinny girl
Okay.
Gotcha.
in high school.
Gotcha.
So when you became a nurse, obviously you were still drinking and everything. And I remember you talking about before the podcast, you guys would go out at night.
Yeah.
Because you had to you were just
How
so
you
tired.
burned off steam.
You burned off steam, exactly.
Yeah.
How much
But
did
I
you
think
drink?
that's more than just, I mean, nurses, we're pretty, I think, and I can only speak for myself, but we can be pretty heavy drinkers. I mean, think of the shit we have to look at and go through and whatever. But I think there's more people drinking in excess than people want to realize and admit. And that's my goal in this, is to get people to realize you don't have to hit a rock bottom like I did. You just have to want better for yourself. You just have to sit back and be like, fuck, like, I feel like shit. I'm tired of waking up feeling like shit. I used to drink, at night, and then I'd get up for a Saturday morning workout at the gym, and I'd be still half in the bag, trying to muster through this workout and get hungover in the middle of the workout, and then go home and be like, all right, well, what am I going to do to make myself feel better? And then like a couple hours later, like, all right, well, I'll just go day drinking. What a shit-ass life to live. That constant cycle.
How did you really get out of that though? Because like you had mentioned that you didn't know that you had that problem. So like I'm trying to think, like, how do you get through to someone who just doesn't think they have a drinking problem? And what got you to just be like, okay, I'm done?
Unfortunately for me, I hit a rock bottom. So there was an incident that happened, and I was left with two choices. I mean, at the end of the day, I could have chose something different. I could have been like, all right, well, I'm going to drink to numb this situation. But I woke up the next morning, and I was like, you got to do something different. Like, if you keep doing this is a terrible life you're going to live. And so for me, it started with, I got sober on October 1st. And it was, you haven't had a holiday season without drinking. And also, too, to backtrack a little bit, my drinking was a major factor of my divorce. So I got divorced in 2016. And then the drinking escalated even more. And then I got sober in October of 2017. And so I was like, all right, you haven't gone through a holidays without like not drinking. Just get through till December 31st. See what happens. And I got to December 31st, and I remember I was still with the same friend group who were drinkers, and we went out for New Year's Eve at this bar, and I'm sitting there, and I'm so uncomfortable, and I was just like, I could drink. I said I only had to make it to this point, but something was telling me, like, don't do it. Like, it doesn't feel right. You've been doing so good. You feel a little bit better, even though you kind of have to feel all the feels. Like, just wait until tomorrow, the new year, and then reevaluate. So I woke up the next day and I'm like, I really feel like drinking should just not be a thing right now. So my birthday's in March. Get to your birthday without drinking and then reevaluate. I got to my birthday, and the friends that I was friends with, we decided to do a night in Boston. And so here I am, my first sober birthday. I'm only like 6 months sober. And we got kicked out of the show, and we got kicked out of Hong Kong because they were hammered.
Damn.
And I'm trying to fight my sobriety. So I was just like, so now I'm taking a different approach of like, I can't do this. Like looking at it from a sober point of view and seeing them just watching the escalation of the drinking, right, was like really making me nervous and uncomfortable. So I was like, all right, get to Memorial Day. You haven't done a Memorial Day sober in like years. See what happens. And then I got to Memorial Day and I was like, all right, let's see what a summer would look like without drinking. And then before I know it, I hit my 1 year. And that's when I was like, you got to keep doing this.
Wow.
Dude, what you did was like, you had a short-term goal, and then you got to it, and then you created another short-term goal.
Yeah.
I think the problem with people with like addictions in general, they try to do that long-term goal, but that's the wrong way of doing it. You need to do short-term first.
It's those small wins, right?
Collect the wins.
Stacking
I
up
always
those
say
small
collect the wins. And that's how I approach coaching with my nutrition and fitness clients. Like, I understand the goal is 50 pounds. Right. But if you keep focusing on, I'm not at that 50 pounds, you're going to constantly feel like you're a failure. Yep. It's all the little things that's going to add to you losing that 50 pounds. Yep. And then it's like I did not have joy in my sobriety journey in the beginning. And even now it's still hard. But it's realizing all the things you can do one day at a time, every single day, that's really adding to you being 1% better. 1% better, 1% stronger, 1% happier. even too, my win would be, for a while, it was not waking up on a Monday hungover. And like having to, and I just think now as a sober person who values a Monday, like starting off your Monday in a positive headspace, I'm like, oh my God, Monday as a society is your restart. And I was walking into my start of the week hungover, feeling like shit, mentally, physically, emotionally, all the things. That's how I was setting up my week. No wonder I was constantly doing shit things to feel like a failure, right? And so for a while it was like, okay, I'm grateful that I'm not hungover, but I would still like get up and cry every Monday morning because I had to feel all the feels. And it's like, okay, I have to find my strength this week. And that turned into the next week. Then it's like, okay, I'm a little bit stronger. Okay, what can I do a little bit differently? Never knowing what it would feel like 1 year later, 5 years later, 6 years. And that's what I wish people would treat their fitness and nutrition journey versus just looking at that one goal, like chip away at all the other little accomplishments we can find joy in before we get there. Like I always tell people, I'm one that I don't force people to like weigh every week, because if you learn something this week or if you hit your protein this week, that's going to get you to where you want to be, whether the scale is moving or not.
Yep.
Focus on that and then stay consistent with that. Just like with my sobriety, I had to focus on the little wins and then staying consistent so I could stay sober.
Yeah. It really is those little wins
Yeah.
all the time.
It is.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What was like your mentality like throughout this process?
Throughout sobriety?
Yeah.
At first, it felt awful. I ruined my marriage over it. I had a rock bottom. I knew people in the community were whispering about what had happened or what didn't happen. And then it was that, again, it's that identity of like, oh my God, I'm the party girl and now I'm the loser that's getting sober. And like, I'm the type that I just put a lot of pressure on myself to be a good person. And I couldn't see all the other things that I was doing well. I was just harboring on like the things that were keeping me small. And then as I went through the journey, it was just hitting different mindsets and mentalities, just like as you grow, you get different challenges. So in the beginning, I'd be 2 years sober and I'm like, why are these challenges happening? I've been sober for 2 years. It should be easy by now, right? And it's like, it's not easy. Just like life, if you're trying to grow and do better and be better, you're gonna get bigger challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To show your strength, right?
It's like a new level to the game.
Yeah. And then like, okay, now I'm growing this business and I'm helping other people and that feels really good. And I'm helping myself and I'm finding the empowerment of not just, because, you know, I went from this extreme eating disorder to the opposite. I was working out 2-a-days. I was logging every single thing in MyFitnessPal. Like, oh my God, I had a jelly bean. I got to write that in.
One jelly bean, huh?
One jelly bean.
Yeah, toss that in there.
You know what I mean? Like, it was insanity. Once I really got into the sober journey and was getting understanding, and honestly, once I started bodybuilding, and I was really focusing on this time is for me and to build my body and not compare myself to somebody else. What is your 1% better? And then that be inspired versus comparison, right? It just came with different mindsets. So then I'm like, okay, I'm feeling good. I'm sober. People are coming back and looking at me like, wow, look what she did. Look what she did with herself. Look what she's doing, helping other people. And then when I started working at White Wolf and created SheWolf, now it was the battle of like, oh my God, I'm an imposter. Because how am I empowering and standing up here giving these mindset quotes to these women when I was a drunk, when I got divorced, when I hit a rock bottom, when I did some shit ass things?
But those are the ones.
Yeah.
But those are the ones.
Those are the ones you need because they went
Yeah.
through it.
Tragedy
Yeah.
creates that hero arc, or it could create that villain arc.
Yep.
But for you, it created that hero arc.
Yeah. Like you are literally the example. You know, like
Yeah.
because you went through it.
Yeah.
It would be a shame if someone who just never went through anything just walked through life with no problems whatsoever and then wanted to just empower people because they have no prior experience.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like I know what it is to get yourself out of the mud multiple times. Because even I'll be like, I was honest earlier on my social media, like this year has been really hard. It's been so rewarding, but it's been so hard. To be an entrepreneur is so different than being a nurse with an ongoing paycheck, right? To be dependent on that entrepreneurship. And then for me, again, I'm like very hard on myself. So like I used to look forward to being evaluated at work because I want to know I'm doing a good job. And there's nobody evaluating me in entrepreneurship. You know what I mean? Like
just you, yourself.
And I'm just like, am I doing it right? Am I doing it well? Am I helping enough people? Like, what does my, like, all the things, right? And then on top of, I lost the love of my Jojo, my dog, who was like everything to me. And he was attached to a lot of things. He was attached to my marriage. He was attached to my sobriety. He's been attached to all the ups and downs. So losing him too on top of this entrepreneur and my nervous system and burnout, like it affects your sobriety again, right? So just because I've gotten sober, just because I have a good schedule with fitness and nutrition doesn't mean I don't have my little mental health lows. Right. And it's just letting people know like it happens, but how are we going to pull ourselves out of it?
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I would love to get more into your fitness journey, but first we need to thank our sponsors for the video. So, everyone, our sponsors for this video are the BACP group, which is Alex's business.
Yes, sir.
Without Alex, this would not be possible. This podcast would not be possible without Alex. Because, like,
The best.
Alex is the man. He gave us this opportunity to do this podcast so many months ago, and we really appreciate it, man. So thank you so much. Guys, if you want your own podcast or if you want to do any video or photography shoots, hit up Alex. He's the guy to do it.
Alice Breezy.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Even Theresa,
best.
she's done it.
The best.
Exactly.
He's done all my videos and all my shoots.
He is the best.
Thank you. Thank you for the love.
Makes me look like a model.
You are.
a moron.
And then I go through your pictures, and there goes my imposter syndrome. Like, who the fuck do you think you are?
You are. So we also want to thank NutriMeals. So with our busy schedules, sometimes meal prepping can be a bit of a hassle, and we may not be able to get to it like we want to. But with NutriMeals, you already have that meal already ready for you. You just need to put it in the microwave, take it out, and then boom, in 2 minutes, there's your meal right there with all the macros and micros that you would ever need. NutriMeals. Use KMF40 at checkout for 40% off your first order. Also, if you're a member at KMF Strong, you get 5% off your orders basically every time for forever, as long as you're a member at KMF Strong, right?
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yep. All right. Well, that's a no-brainer, everyone. NutriMeals is the way to go. Give them a try. All right. And now,
Benny, what you think? He's getting better.
yeah,
right?
I'm doing pretty good.
It's just like, bro, I'm amazed.
Yeah.
I just sit here and I'm like, they grow up so fast. You know? It's just like, damn.
Teresa, I don't think you understand, but I fumbled so much in the first podcast. I even fumbled a couple of weeks
so
ago
hard,
too.
Yeah.
And I don't. I try not to because I did public speaking and everything.
yeah.
I've spoken in front of people, but it's just practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just practice.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty far along now.
Yes.
I love it.
So practice makes perfect. But now back into the podcast. So I want to talk about how your fitness journey basically kind of started, because I know you were still a nurse and that was about 9 years ago. How did it start, and then where did you go to start it, basically? Because I know there's a little backstory with you being at TC. So,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I started, so it's so funny. I met a nurse at one of the hospitals when I was a dialysis nurse, and she was doing personal training in these classes over at, I started at FC Fitness in Beverly.
Okay.
And so it was a powerlifting gym / bodybuilding / CrossFit. He had a great community. So she literally had me come over there for a personal training session. Again, this is in the thick of my like not doing well. And when I went there, I watched these other girls like deadlifting like crazy weight, and they're benching, and they just were so nice. And I was just like, oh, I want to be like that.
I wanna do that.
I want to do that.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like what got the wheels turning of like, all right, girl, you're going to get your shit together if you want to lift heavier. So I started like joining the classes and at least being part of the community. I'll never forget. So he conned me into doing like the in-house powerlifting meet. I think I won a trophy because I was the only person in my weight class, which was under 104 pounds. and I could barely bench the barbell, right?
Yep.
And everybody so support. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, you're so amazing!" And then they're like, "All right, next girl is Deanna, 145 on the thing." I was like, "What the hell am I doing here?" But that was like the turning point of like my fitness, and then I'd gone over to Tanner City CrossFit for a while, and then I'd gone to the Swamp for a while. So I was like in the CrossFit Kool-Aid. And don't get me wrong, I loved CrossFit. It was very community-based. It was very challenging, all the things, right? But then as I was changing and going through sobriety, I needed something different. And again, that's just my own personal opinion. And so I had left. I had a friend that I met at my very first CrossFit gym who was scary as fuck, and he was a bodybuilder, and he was like, "Girl, like, I'll train you, but you got to do it the way I want to do it." And I was like, you know what? I got nothing to lose here. So I started with him, and then the pandemic happened, so that's all. Luckily, he had a warehouse, and I was going there and learning the bodybuilding stuff, and I loved it. I loved feeling strong. I loved isolating. I loved having a leg day. My back didn't hurt. Like, it was just awesome. Like, I loved the lifting part of it. And then that's when I started kind of, okay, we're not doing it to check off boxes. How do I now really kind of tie the nutrition into it? Mindset, all the things.
Do you train more like a bodybuilder now, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that how you kind of like take care of your clients as well, or?
Yeah, we do like mostly bodybuilding
Gotcha.
kind of sets. Or
I know every
whatever.
client is different.
Yeah,
different wants
and that's
stuff,
how I've
but
set up
just-
SheWolf. So like even this morning for SheWolf, on Sundays we do stations. So I have a leg and glute station. I have a back and bi station. I have a.
And SheWolf is just for females?
So it has been just for females, and then some of the men complained that they wanted to be a part of SheWolf. And they want it, and the people like my vibes, right? Like when I fucking coach, you get like a Celine Dion concert. Like it is not for me. It is like, I want people to feel good and empowered. So I'm yelling like, go kick Market Basket in the dick after here, right? Because it's all about like, what are we gonna do outside of here? Like feeling strong. I don't want to meal prep, but it doesn't sound bad to kick Market Basket in the dick. You know what I mean? Like. So the guys wanted in. So of course, we have one co-ed class, and it was popular for a while with the guys, and now it's not. It's just not really popular. I think the stigma, if you call it, like SheWolf is very female oriented, which is fine. But it's funny because when we do like next week, I'll probably do one big class for Christmas Eve. So it'll be co-ed. There'll be tons of guys there, and they love it. They love it.
Good.
And nothing that I do is girly. It's bodybuilding. We're all doing the same shit.
Yeah.
Literally.
100%. I think that's some of it too. But I always try to incorporate some kind of mindset. I always write something of mindset on the board that I talk about, and then we kind of, at the end of class, go back to. So again, we're kind of using what's the purpose for the week versus I worked out today.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, what's the purpose of this?
There's some motivation with it. There's some inspiration.
And then my thing is at the end of class, I go around, I ask everybody why they're a bad bitch, because I want you to feel like a bad bitch.
I wonder what the guys' answer is.
Yeah.
The guys are awesome. Sometimes the guys are like, you know what, I fixed my lawnmower this week. And I'm like, you know what, Tim, that's amazing.
Wow, you're a bad bitch.
Or yeah, you're a bad bitch. Or like, they're a good dad, or
Yeah.
whatever it is. And they love it. And even today, I had a group strength class, and one of the guys, he lifted crazy heavy today. And I was like, remember, Adam, when you came in here, when you first came in here, and I had to ask you to sit down and keep your eyes up and eat something. He literally almost passed out and threw up. And now he's like squatting. I don't know what he squatted today, like 2 something, right?
Nice.
And I go, you're such a, sorry, I don't know what the equivalent. I go, it's just my thing. Like, you're such a bad bitch. And I was like, you know what? I'm not mad. I want to be a bad bitch. And I was like, yeah, you are. It's universal.
I guess.
I guess so.
Why? Why are you a bad bitch? Here we go.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm not a bad bitch.
How can you say that?
I'm a male.
Yeah. No.
Oh my God.
How about bad motherfucker?
There we go.
There we go.
There you go.
That's
a little
better.
better.
That's
Yeah.
better. So, I got to get your opinion, and because we talked a little bit about this, what do you think's wrong with CrossFit? There's a lot of things wrong with it, in my opinion.
Listen, CrossFit worked for me when it worked for me. Now that I've gotten into functional fitness and bodybuilding, it doesn't make sense to tell somebody whose 1 rep max is 365 that they have 10 minutes to warm up, you know?
Yeah.
Or somebody whose 1 rep max is 365 and today's a 1 rep day, but you only have 15 minutes to find your 1 rep. Seems like it would take a little bit longer
Yeah.
for some people.
A lot of people like clients over the years that I've trained. I feel like a lot have tried CrossFit and a lot come out injured.
My back hurt all the time.
Really?
All the time. And I mean, that's on me that I didn't stretch probably as well as I should have stretched, all the things. But there were some
Gotta get
days.
Stretch Bro in here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
get the
right.
Switch Bro in here.
There were some days where I would look ahead of time and be like, oh my God, to go from the rower into deadlifts into wall balls for 20 minutes, I won't be able to walk today, so I'm not going to go. I knew that was going to blow my back out.
You gave yourself the out.
So I gave myself the out because I needed to walk around the office today without feeling like I needed one of my patients' walkers. Like
Makes
literally sometimes at dialysis they'd be like, do you want to use my walker? I'm like, actually, I kind of do. But I think too, like, I think it does work for some people. I think if you can find a community, right? And if it works for you, that's great. I'm not looking for participation awards. I don't believe in that. I just know from my own personal opinion, like my own personal experience, when I was going through sobriety and constantly feeling like I was failing because you weren't hitting that next PR or you weren't coming in a certain place or whatever it was really hard to leave where I felt like I should have felt a little bit accomplished for the day to then go into my world and just feel like a failure in my world. So that was just like the hardest part for me.
Gotcha. Do you think maybe it was because of that toxic community at that exact place? Because maybe other places don't have it, or is it just because that's just the way the community is in general?
I think it's different. I think it's different in certain places.
Yeah, I would assume so.
I would assume other different gyms run their gyms differently.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
There's this really sick gym called KMF Strong that I heard runs their gym amazingly. Just saying.
And you want to know something? That KMF Strong, it used to be the gym that Miss Theresa used to work at.
Exactly.
Tanner City CrossFit.
Out with the old, in with the
Out
new,
with
right?
the old, in with the new. Yeah.
Of course.
Now it's a lot better. And not as much beat up floors because the landlord had to freaking
Say
fix
the
all
lighting
of them.
is amazing.
Lighting, yes, thank you.
I love the lighting in there.
Appreciate it. We're doing the same thing on the other side as well.
I love it.
Appreciate it. So the designs are going to be insane when they're all done. Insane.
Yeah.
Like
I love
we're
it.
really going to outdo ourselves this one.
Oh my gosh, tell me about it.
So we're really happy with it. Really happy. All right. So now you transitioned from the CrossFit into the White Wolf. So how's White Wolf going? Ideally, I know you don't want to like talk too much about it because you're still there. We talked about it, off podcast before. But if you want to go into it, I wouldn't mind that either. Like, how's it going?
Do you do so your SheWolf thing? It's group training, right?
Correct.
Okay, gotcha.
So I coach. I coach 2 days over there. I coach Sundays and Tuesdays. So I have my SheWolf classes, and I do a couple group strength classes, which are pre-programmed, and then I teach one of the kettlebell classes, which is like a boot camp.
Pre-programmed by yourself, or
Nope, it's pre-programmed by the owner.
Interesting.
So how we have it set up is Sunday, Monday, strength is squats, shoulders, core. So we usually do squats with some accessory, another block of accessory, and then a little bit of a sweat.
So you're just there making sure people do the right exercise.
Yeah, I'm walking them through the board, and I'm still coaching people. We have new people that come in that don't know how to squat for the group strength, or they don't know what dumbbell overhead presses are.
Sure.
So it's still
I feel like I've never liked that model.
coaching.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't know. I feel like it takes away from the trainer.
What do you mean?
Like if it's already a pre-planned program and the trainer just needs to fill in the gap and just be like, hey, like this is what we're doing, but I didn't come up with it, right? I feel like it takes away from the trainer's experience, the trainer's creativity or whatever.
But it also helps the trainer, don't you think?
I think it
as
just
well?
makes their life easier.
It makes life easy, a little bit easier.
They don't have to think about anything. They just show
Exactly.
up.
Well, you
do
have
what's
to
on the
think.
board.
Yeah. So the way he has it, so Sunday, Monday is the same program, squats. So it's kind of like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday schedule, if you think about it. So people aren't hitting a bunch of strengths in a row. It gives them that rest, and then you have a little like opportunity to pick a different class. The idea behind it is because you are working off a program, off of certain percentages to hit a 1 rep max in 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
So we have a squatting program, the deadlift program,
And it's all to hit a 1 rep max.
every
ultimately?
6 to 8 weeks.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds like a.
So what, like for me, I don't, I personally don't do that anymore. Like I'm not looking to figure out what my 1 rep. I'm prepping right now for a competition for the spring, anyways, to do like a fitness show.
Nice.
So I'm not looking to. But even before that, like I don't care.
Not very ideal.
Yeah.
I don't feel like blowing my back out.
The risk of injury to like the
And now that I'm an
satisfaction of-
entrepreneur, I don't know what my health insurance covers, and I haven't found a sugar daddy to pay for my.
Not
health
yet.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
after this podcast. Who
Maybe.
knows?
So,
Someone's gonna hit you up. Hey,
Right?
I'm that guy.
Yeah, legit. Funny.
but yeah, no, I'm not. It's not. I did it. I did it a lot. Like somebody who hasn't done that, great. Like I get it. But I've done 1 rep maxes for what feels like a million years. I don't. At that point, it just doesn't fulfill me.
Gotcha.
But we do in-house powerlifting comps, which I love, and it's getting girls in there to realize that you're not going to get bulky from lifting heavy.
Can we go into this a little bit more, please?
100%.
There's a big misconception with the
Huge
fitness
misconception
industry.
about
I've been trying to get bulky for 3 years. I've also been trying to get bulky now for the last 3 months. It's hard.
What do you weigh now? We know what you weighed before.
Yeah, I weigh like I think I'm close to like one. Last time I weighed myself, I was like 133.8.
Okay,
So I have
good.
to weigh for my coaching.
Nice.
My coach.
Good.
Yeah. Healthy.
Hell yeah.
There you go.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
Strong.
Big
What-
step from 89.
So
Yeah.
misconception about
You're not going to get a big
Getting
ass
big.
with 89 pounds.
yeah.
Hell no.
No.
So
That
that's
is
where
true.
I'm
You got
at.
a point. You got a point.
That's so true.
So when these women tell you or everyone else, like it's us trainers, like, hey, I don't want to get big. And we tell them, well, you're not going to get big. You don't have the genetics. You're a
Yeah.
girl, not a guy.
Even guys struggle, right? You see
Yeah.
guys at the gym and they could be training for like 5 years and they look the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like even guys struggle to get big. You know what I mean?
We all know it's nutrition, right? You have to be eating a surplus of nutrition and be on a very strict, particular lifting program to, like, it's a certain rep range, it's certain tempos, it's a certain program specifically for bulky. That's why one of the reasons I created SheWolf too is I learned the power of bodybuilding. I never got bulky from it. I got strong and muscular and felt good about myself and confidence to do strong things outside of the gym, outside of bodybuilding. So getting girls in there to realize, and it was just me being no bullshit. Like you're not going to. I promise you, you're not going to. I've been trying for years now, and it hasn't happened. And I'll never forget, I had a few girls come in from a different type of gym, and we have at White Wolf, we have like 2 sets of like a 2 pound and a 3 pound, because God forbid we have some older people that come in and work out with us, and they just use those, or anybody who's rehabbing. And this one girl came in to try SheWolf from this other gym. And she went to pick up the 2s, and I was like, no, we don't do that here. And she was like, I don't want to get bulky. And I was like, I promise you won't. And now she's a full-blown SheWolf, White Wolf member, and she's got the nicest ass of SheWolf. And I was like, you're welcome.
Nicest ass of
That's,
you.
that's
Yeah.
a she-wolf.
You're welcome.
Interesting.
And I was like, oh, we're
I
not
think
bulky.
Christian
And she
has
loves
to be the
it.
judge of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she loves it. And she loves lifting heavy. And she has a different attitude, a different energy, a different confidence. And I'm like, oh, weird. We didn't get bulky, huh?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Would you
Wow,
look at that?
Would you
Look
look
at
at that? So for your show that's coming up in the spring, what category are you going to compete in?
So I'm competing in the WNBF Fit Body, which is in between bikini and figure.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
It'll be my first show.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
How how much weight do you think you're going to be losing until then?
Well, right now I'm bulking.
Yeah, I know. Right now you're bulking.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
What do you need to
And
weigh?
so
Do you know?
I don't think there's a weight.
There isn't?
No.
Okay.
No. There's no weight limit.
Some categories there is.
No, it's just standing on stage
Okay.
and visual.
Gotcha.
But I wanted to do it a couple years ago, and I just felt like I was still like not. I was like, I don't know if I'm in that healthy mindset to do the actual like deficit part of it. But I've talked to some people that I trust, and I was like, you know what? I'm at the point, I'm going to be 40, but also too, like, I felt like I wasn't we're creatures of like goals. And I just felt like I wasn't, I program workouts for everybody else. I'm getting everybody else to set fitness goals. And I was just kind of like not making the time for myself or squeezing myself in. And I was like, this will force me to work towards something. It will be different. It will be challenging. It will force me to carve out the time for the training. And it's just another middle finger to everybody else who thought I wouldn't do well in life.
It'll make you better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And it just, for me, it's another way to meet people. I love meeting people in the fitness world. I have made the most amazing connections, friends, networks within fitness. That's all my long lasting friendships and bonds and community has been within fitness.
Where is the show?
I'm not sure yet. They haven't dropped the schedule.
Okay.
They don't drop it till like January.
Gotcha.
But in the spring.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see that then.
I'm excited.
Very excited.
I'm just excited to see like what I could do with it. All, the science behind it. I've never done something like that.
Just give it your all. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that way you didn't hold back.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I mean, it could be a one and done type of thing, but you
Yeah.
want to make sure that you go all in. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that way there's no regrets.
Yeah.
Definitely. Now, what's probably, since you're all over, social media and everything, what's the dark side of social media? What's one thing that's, you hate?
I think for me, it's like the comparison. If I'm having a bad day,
That was in my head.
Yep.
if I'm having a bad day and then I go online, I see like all these coaches have all these new clients and I'm doing so awesome with my business. And, I hit this financial mark or like whatever it is. I'm just like, I'm failing at this. Oh my God, I'm failing at this, right? So I think it's the comparison. I honestly don't compare myself image-wise. I'm very proud of how I've developed my body, how strong I am, where I've come from in that aspect. But I think the comparison to business, like there are a lot of people I've had to mute because I just didn't want to see, not the success, I just didn't want to see it all the time. Like I have a hard time with it too. Like there are just some days I don't want to be on social media, but that's our business. Like if I'm not on social media, how are people going to know I have a business that I want to help them, right? So sometimes it's just like seeing other people's things that I'm just like, I don't care to see that. So just mute people.
Definitely. And now, what are your fitness goals or future goals at the moment? Personal fitness besides the show?
Etc.
So I always give myself, since I got sober, I would focus on one word for the year. So this year's word was empowerment. I wanted to empower as many people as I could, and I wanted to do things that empowered myself and growing my business, which I feel like I did a really good job. Next year, my word is limitless, because I believe I'm limitless in what I'm doing with my business and how many people I can help with it, whether it's sobriety or fitness, nutrition, or just like, again, my biggest like transformation rewards is like the girl that would come into the gym with her head down, super scared, unconfident, and now just walks in with her head held high, or another girl that because of SheWolf and me constantly reminding them like you're worth so much more outside of here. She like realized her job was taking advantage of her and went for a new job, and now she has this like nice work-life balance. Or those are the transformations that I love, or like people finding their strength. I think the goal is just to continue to grow this business. I'm not sure what that looks like yet. But
Yeah.
growing this business, I don't feel like I'm touching enough people, and I feel like there was a reason I've gone through what I've gone through.
Do you have a vision of what that would look like in the end? Not the end goal because it's kind of ongoing, but like let's say 5 years from now when it's like at its peak, do you know what that would look like?
It's so funny because I go back and forth. I would love, I have my online business, and that gives me so much freedom to travel. And even this year, I traveled a lot for business and socially, but a lot for business. And I connected with so many amazing people that I'm still friends with that say that my social media helps them. So like for me, traveling is being able to just connect with people and empower them by staying connected and being vulnerable on social media and sharing my information and my stuff and my life and stuff like that, what I've gone through. But then I also toyed the fact like, I want my own thirst trap place where it's just,
Thirst trap place?
yes, it's just come feel strong.
Only for females?
I don't know. I mean, that seems to be what my niche has been.
Yeah.
But
Run with it.
shout out to the couple male clients I've had personal training. God help them.
What's it going to be called? Thirst trap? SheWolf thirst
Yeah.
trap or something?
I don't know if I ever branch off. I mean, SheWolf is a white wolf thing.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
So
Yeah. But would you
it
want
would be
your
like
own
a
gym?
fuel up thing. Huh?
So you would want your own gym?
I've toyed with the idea of it.
Mm-hmm.
I've toyed with the idea of it.
We talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
yeah?
She
I've-
knows my opinion.
Yeah. Yes. I've toyed with the
I know
idea.
your opinion.
I toyed with the idea of it, of just having. I mean, it's just what I think about is it's taking a chance on you, right?
Yeah.
I took a chance on myself pulling out of nursing and into this business, not even having any idea what would all that would come out of this. And all the people I've gotten to work with, that's the other thing about my online business is I've gotten to work with people all across the U.S. that have randomly found me or heard about me from somebody local, like, a girl in Pennsylvania that's working with me, that her cousin's sister had worked with me or came to one SheWolf class and told her about me. Yeah, I don't know. That's why I'm saying my year is limitless.
Yeah, no worries.
That's
no
good.
worries. Open mind.
Open mind.
Open mind.
If that's your word, then I'm sure something will come up.
Yeah.
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 You know, an
Yeah.
opportunity will come up.
Just
and
keep going.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Keep grinding.
There really is no limit
Yeah.
to that, to this business too.
Yeah.
It really isn't, especially in the online space. You know, we have so many trainers that are doing the online thing, so it's like there's literally the sky.
And I love it. I the way I do my online is very hands-on. Like I'm a people person. I want to a fault. I want people to win. I want to take care of people. So like I remember when I was first in the nutrition journey and I was just reaching out to online coaches, they're like, "Oh, here's your macros. Get back to me in 2 weeks." And I'm like, "What the hell is a macro?" Like I am like checking in with them. Walking them through things. Like it's way more hands-on than just, here you go. I want to see people succeed because I never imagined I would be successful in my own nutrition and fitness journey. And I love that the extra layer of it is that I do attract the sober community because I want them, when we get sober, you look to fill that addiction with something else. So for me, my addiction turned into like the crazy workouts and crazy logging and that kind of thing.
Being a fitness junkie.
Yeah, and then like most of us, when you quit alcohol, it affects your hormones, it affects all that, it affects your sugar craving. So right away, you're like addicted to sugar, and you're like, oh my God, I'm a failure because now I'm addicted to sugar and I'm gaining this weight. And it's like, no, you're not. Your body's trying to adjust to you being sober. So kind of giving people permission, like, no, that's okay, but how do we pivot around that? How can we make this better for you? It's all mindset stuff. Like we have to do things to feel like we're in a forward motion. Mm-hmm. If I constantly feel like I'm failing at this, you're going to stay stagnant in that mindset of I'm failing. Who wants to get up and feel like they're failing every day? I want people to realize there's so many ways to collect the wins every single day to keep focusing on 1% better.
I like that.
The little wins.
I like that little win.
Yeah,
little
that's
wins
how
back 'em up.
that's how I have to treat my sobriety journey.
I think that's gonna help a lot of people, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Definitely, I
Yeah.
really think
And
so.
that's a big niche right there with the sobriety community.
Yeah,
Like Fran.
Fran, exactly.
Yeah. She does an awesome job. I love
She
her.
does.
They
She
can
does.
collab.
Exactly. You probably guys will collab in the future.
There you go.
Maybe we'll guys have both of you on the podcast
That'd be
again.
amazing.
Right?
The panel.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, definitely. I think that'd be
Sober
a
panel.
The sober panel.
Sober fitness panel.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Theresa,
you. I
for
love
being
this.
here. We really appreciate it. Now, before we go, we always like to ask these rapid fire questions for
Okay,
our
I'm
guests.
nervous.
I'm actually going to change it up this time. I'm going to probably change it this time. But first, before I give you rapid fire questions, would you like to give everyone your social media?
Sure. It's Fuel Up, period, with Theresa on Instagram, and then just Theresa Coughlin on Facebook. I love meeting people. Like, just connect with me. Don't be afraid to DM me. I have people, literally I have a guy that in the South Shore heard about me from somebody else who's trying to get sober. And he's like, I just feel like I need a friend, and I helped get some resources for him. So like anything, nutrition, fitness, all the things. Like I love it all. Again, I never imagined in a million years I'd be where I am today. And so I want the next person to feel as good as I do.
That's awesome.
I'm awesome. That's like really empowering. Just like as your word is.
Yeah, it was my word for the year.
That's really empowering. I
Yeah.
think everyone's going to love
Yeah.
that. So thank you so much.
Yes.
We really appreciate it.
I love being here. Thank you.
Now, the rapid fire questions.
Scared. Now I'm nervous.
Dun, dun, dun,
Now you
dun.
should be nervous.
Yeah, you should be nervous.
Good luck.
They're all math, by the way.
Girl math, that's not good.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Good luck. All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Marry, kill, or fuck.
Oh my God.
Deadlift, squat, bench press.
I almost spit my water.
I'm definitely killing squat. I just, it's not my thing.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna fuck deadlifts, marry benching.
Okay.
I love a good bench
You love
day.
good bench?
Not bad. I'll take
Nice.
that.
Yeah.
I'll take
That's
that.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I like these questions.
Oh, yeah, no, that ain't gonna be that bad. They're just fun little questions. All right. Dumbbells or kettlebells?
Dumbbells.
Cool. Cool.
Even though I teach a kettlebell boot camp.
Ah.
I'm always like, if you guys want to try out dumbbells, that's fine.
What's your ideal cheat meal?
Ice cream.
Ooh, what kind of ice cream?
It all depends on where. So I'm a creature of habit. Like, I'm not going to fuck up my day or fuck up my calories by trying something new. So if I go to Cherry Hill, Purple Cow. If I go to Treadwell's, it's salted caramel and strawberry cheesecake.
Yep.
If I go to Richardson's, lately it's been Maine Black Bear, which is oddly
yeah.
really good,
It is.
and M&M.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Do you go to Holy Cow?
I've never been to Holy Cow
There you go.
because to
Girl.
me the really so the flavors, my anxiety gets so
You need to
triggered
go
so
Holy
There's
easily.
like a gold one that's bomb.
There's too many like gourmet flavors. Again, I don't want to pick a flavor and ruin my day. Like when I go to Starbucks, I order the same damn thing. Why would I try something new and ruin my fucking day?
You're a creature of habit.
100%.
Yeah, gotcha. Makes
So I haven't. If you give me a good recommendation, I trust you. I'll go to Holy Cow.
Okay, I have a good recommendation.
Okay, perfect.
Corner piece.
What?
Corner piece. That's the name of the ice cream. It's
Corner
like,
piece?
Like the brownie, the corner piece of the brownie.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
it's so
I'm in.
good. Honestly, if you just have their chocolate, it's the best chocolate you ever have in your
Okay,
life.
all right, fine.
Just straight up chocolate.
Like somebody brought me. Are we allowed to say people's like names on here?
Sure.
All right. Somebody told me to go to Melt once, and I was like, this place sucks.
Oh yeah, I know where that is. In
It's too
Salem.
gourmet. It's too fancy for me.
Yeah, I haven't gone there yet.
No, there was no M&Ms. I was like, what the fuck is this place?
That's okay. That's all right. So ice cream, awesome. Now, what is your ideal guy? Is he jacked? Is he ripped? Is he big? Is he cut? Or is he swole?
It has to be one of those.
It has to be one of those.
What else would it be?
What else would it be? Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna
If
be
he
like,
doesn't
I
lift, he
just
shouldn't even be an option, right?
100%. He has to lift and enjoy the gym with me. I thought you were gonna be like, I thought I could be like, has his shit together.
Well,
Oh,
having
yeah.
his shit together would mean that he
No,
lifts.
No,
and he
works on
looks-
himself.
Gotcha,
Maybe
gotcha.
sober. Oh, we're not doing that. Muscular. I like
Muscular.
nice arms.
Jacked.
I want to feel like I'm a girl.
Mm.
Yeah.
So
and
that-
I can be carried because I'm tall. I want to be, not that I want to be carried, but I want to feel like
She wants to be carried.
She wants to be
that I
carried.
can be carried.
Yeah.
Right.
Gotcha.
nice arms. Yeah.
Okay, so
big
that's-
arms.
That's good to know. That's good to know. What is your favorite part about your body? What's your favorite body part?
I have to say it's my butt. I have a good butt.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Good.
I like my
For
butt.
it.
Too.
I've worked really. I mean, coming from a girl who weighed 85 pounds,
That's fair enough. You got
I've
a
got a
point.
nice ass.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll take average.
Fair enough. Okay. Cool. All right, guys.
There's still hope.
There's still hope for all you guys out there. All right. Then that's it. That was all the
God, I love
questions.
it.
That was all the questions. Just like 5 quick ones.
You got me by surprise on that.
I know. I
one.
got.
I know.
I
I
probably
didn't know
got.
any of those. Like seriously, I had no idea.
I got everyone by surprise on that one. I wanted to switch them up. You know.
I'm the fun girl. It's fine.
Exactly.
Good, good.
And next time, if you come back on, there'll be different ones.
Perfect. I love it.
Good.
But thank you so much, Theresa, for being here.
Thank
We
you
greatly
so much.
appreciate you sharing your story. And thank you so much, Vinicius and
Yep.
Mr. Breezy. Thank you again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time.
We gonna